On the night of July 6, 2008, at 11:55 p.m., Shanghai's 110 emergency hotline received an anonymous call. The male caller reported hearing foreign voices calling for help in a building near Jiaohua Road, but did not give a specific address. Police officers then checked the area, but found nothing unusual and left, assuming it was a prank call. Welcome to Red Eastern True Crime. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to my channel. Let's dive into this story. At 5 a.m. on July 7th, a janitor at Jinsen Building began her shift. She started by cleaning the stairwell. When she reached the area between the 4th and 5th floors, she suddenly saw a young foreign woman lying on the stairs in a pool of blood. She screamed in horror, and building security quickly arrived, also shocked by what they saw. They immediately called 110. When police arrived, they quickly secured the area and identified the victim as Diana O'Brien, a 23-year-old Canadian woman from Salt Spring Island, British Columbia. She was a model for JH Model Agency and arrived in China on June 24, 2008. She was staying in room 602 of the Jinsen Building, an apartment rented by JH Model Agency for their models. Diana had only been in China for 2 weeks and had a regular routine. During the day, she would attend activities and fashion shows, and after work, she would relax with her colleagues at a bar before returning to room 602 to rest. The police investigation found several bloodstains in room 602, and it was clear that the items inside had been disturbed. However, there was no sign of forced entry through the windows or balcony, and the door lock was intact. This suggests that the killer either entered the room with Diana or was let in by her. The security guard at Jinsen Building confirmed that Diana entered the building alone around 10:50 p.m. on July 6th. Some neighbors reported hearing a man and woman arguing in the hallway around 11:30 p.m., but didn't think much of it. Charlotte Wood, Diana's roommate in Shanghai, a model from the UK, arrived at the scene to help count Diana's belongings. She discovered that Diana's missing items included a rolling suitcase, a MacBook, a Canon digital camera, 2 cell phones, 3 rings, some clothes, and cash. The forensic examination determined that Diana had bled to death from multiple stab wounds that pierced her internal organs. The time of death was estimated to be between 11 p.m. on July 6th and midnight on July 7th. Diana had several defensive wounds on her body, indicating that she had struggled violently with her attacker. With the Beijing Olympics only a month away, the murder of a foreigner in Shanghai, a city known for its international security, quickly drew the attention of domestic and international media. The Canadian consulate in Shanghai also made several inquiries about the progress of the police investigation. Under pressure, the Shanghai police set up a special task force and assigned a large number of officers to the case. Diana's roommate Charlotte said that she had gone to work with some models the night of the incident and had not returned, so she did not know what happened that night. She mentioned that if she had been there, she would have made sure to lock all the doors and windows. Charlotte felt guilty and thought that if she hadn't gone out on July 6th, Diana might still be alive. After the police investigation, Charlotte was cleared as a suspect. Diana's father, Michael O'Brien, learned of his daughter's death the same day. In an interview with Canadian media, he said, "My daughter was a beautiful, innocent, and loving girl, and she was just pursuing her dreams and her career. She wasn't involved in anything that was untoward at all." According to media reports, due to a downturn in the Canadian modeling industry, many models are seeking opportunities abroad. Diana came to Shanghai through an agency in this context. However, after arriving in Shanghai, she complained to a friend via email that she was unhappy with the job and sometimes had to promote whiskey in bars. She hoped to end the 3-month contract early. Shanghai JH Modeling Agency, which represented Diana, told police that after she arrived in Shanghai on June 24th, She was sent to Yunnan province for performance events, so she didn't spend much time in Shanghai. The agency also said that they usually don't control what foreign models do in their spare time. Since these foreign models in Shanghai usually earn less than $1,000 a month, they often work part-time jobs, such as promoting drinks in bars, after their regular modeling work to earn extra money. This extra income doesn't require them to pay a commission to the agency. The police checked all of Diana's friends on her social media account. Most of them were her high school classmates in Canada, but she also had friends from Italy, Singapore, and other places, and none of them were Chinese. None of these people had recently come to China. Diana's boyfriend, 32-year-old Joe Berry, told Shanghai police that he had been dating Diana for 5 years. They spoke the day before she was killed, and she said she felt safe in Shanghai and never went out alone. She could have been attacked when she was alone, outside her workplace and apartment, or maybe someone broke into her apartment. She wasn't into drugs, didn't drink much, and didn't have any other bad habits. Other than being killed by criminals, he can't think of any other reason. He also said, Diana did want to go back to her home country, but it was only because she missed home, not because she didn't like her job. A resident of Jinsen Building told police that on July 6th at 11:03 p.m., as he was taking out the garbage and returning to the building, he noticed a young man in black clothes and white shoes following him inside. The security guard later confirmed that the young man was not a resident of the building. The police recalled Charlotte's statement that Diana was laid back and often left the apartment door slightly open when she returned from outside, even at night, despite being reminded several times. Police then focused on the young man. A surveillance camera outside the building captured a figure at 11:47 p.m. wearing black clothing with some unusual marks on the back of the shirt, as if it had been torn. The timing of his entry and exit from the building was consistent with the time of the crime. However, the man appeared to have empty hands and did not look like someone who had just committed a robbery. As a result, he wasn't considered significant during the initial review of the surveillance footage. The police expanded their search of the surveillance footage and soon found that on July 7th at 2:57 a.m., the same man in black was caught on camera outside the building. This time, he rode a bicycle toward Jinsen Building and then quickly returned. 9 minutes later, at 4:06 a.m., he walked past the camera with a bottle of water and headed toward Jinsen Building. At 4:37, he was seen leaving with a rolling suitcase. 2 minutes later, another camera caught him hailing a taxi and leaving. After Charlotte confirmed that the rolling suitcase looked very similar to Diana's, the police concluded that this man was a prime suspect and began a full-scale search for him. After more than 10 hours of effort, on the afternoon of July 9th, they captured the man on several street cameras after he left the Jinsen Building at 11:47 p.m. on July 6th. They reconstructed his movements and confirmed that he had an Anhui provincial accent. Soon, a large number of police officers quickly began investigating areas where the man had been seen, focusing on people from Anhui province who had recently left Shanghai. On the evening of July 9th, 2 officers visited a tea house on Jiahua Road. They showed the staff a bulletin with surveillance photos of the man in black and white shoes. The staff recognized him as a former waiter at the tea house named Chen Zifeng, from Langxi County, Anhui province. He had quit his job on June 20th. Chen had mentioned to his colleagues that he had spent time in Huzhou, Zhejiang province, before coming to Shanghai to work. A man claiming to be his cousin had visited him at the tea house, and they had spoken in the Anhui dialect, mentioning Langxi County several times. The cousin was said to work in a children's clothing factory in Huzhou. The Special Task Force contacted the Langxi County Public Security Bureau, but found no record of Chen Zifeng. It appeared that his identity was fake, but it was confirmed that he was from Langxi County. The team then split into 2 groups. One went to Langshi County to verify Chen Zifeng's true identity, and the other went to Huzhou to find Chen Zifeng's cousin. The police in Langshi County didn't make much progress because so many people from the area were working elsewhere, and they didn't want to conduct an open investigation. However, in Huzhou, with the help of the local police, they quickly obtained information on over 1,000 workers from Langshi, who were working in various children's clothing factories in Jili town. During the investigation, one of the workers provided a crucial piece of information. He said he knew Chen Zifeng and that he was a regular at internet cafes, often visiting them while working at the factory. Under the guise of a fire safety inspection, police began checking over 40 internet cafes at 10:30 p.m. on the evening of July 9th, but they didn't find Chen Zifeng. Just as the Shanghai police were feeling discouraged, a local police officer at the factory site said he had seen Chen Zifeng. He mentioned that he had worked at one of the children's clothing factories 2 years ago, and that a relative still worked there. The police immediately rushed to the factory and found 4 people from Langshi. After careful identification, they all confirmed that Chen Zifeng was in fact Chen Jun, from Shizi Town, Langshi County, and that he was 18 years old. However, none of them had seen Chen Jun recently. After confirming Chen Jun's identity, the Special Task Force immediately notified the Langshi County Police and sent personnel to the Shizi Town Police Station. The local police officer in charge of household registration at the police station said, Chen Jun came to the police station the day before to apply for a new ID card. We told him to come back the next morning at 8 a.m. to pick up the card. It was now early morning on July 11th, and the police immediately set up a force inside and outside the police station, as well as at several key intersections, waiting for Chen Jun to walk into their trap. At 7:55 a.m., Chen Jun actually appeared on the road leading to the police station and was arrested by the ambushed police. Chen Jun did not resist and quickly confessed to the crime of killing Diana. Chen Jun, born in 1990, grew up in a single-parent family. He did not finish junior high school. In January 2006, Chen Jun quit his job at a children's clothing factory to work in Shanghai. However, due to his habit of spending all day in internet cafes and his heavy smoking habit, his wages were not enough to cover his expenses. At that time, he was only 16 years old and still a minor when he worked in the factory. Chen Jun found the work too hard, and he couldn't keep any job for long. On June 20, 2008, he quit his job as a tea house waiter and spent every day playing games in internet cafes. Soon, he was penniless and decided to steal some money to travel back to his hometown. He decided to try his luck at the Jinsen building, not far from the tea house where he used to work. At 11:03 p.m. on July 6th, Chen Jun had a folding knife in his pocket when he followed a resident taking out the garbage in the Jinsen building. He climbed up the stairs to the 6th floor and noticed that the door to room 602 was slightly open. He pushed it open and went inside. Not finding anyone in the living room, he decided to take some things and leave. As he was about to grab a MacBook from the coffee table and make his escape, Diana walked out of the room. She smiled at Chen Jun and said something in English. Chen Jun quickly shouted at her in Chinese, "Give me the money," while making a hand gesture asking for money. Diana didn't understand Chinese and continued to speak in English, showing no intention of giving him any money. Losing patience, Chen Jun pulled out the knife and approached Diana. He held the knife to her chest with one hand and covered her mouth with the other. Diana was terrified and started screaming and struggling. Panicked, Chen Jun stabbed Diana. She struggled and ran out of the room with Chen Jun chasing after her. Worried that the neighbors might hear, Chen Jun chased Diana to the stairwell on the 4th and 5th floors, where he stabbed her several more times. After taking a few RMB from Diana, he fled the scene. After he ran out, he felt very scared and thought to himself, "I wonder if that foreign woman is alive or dead now. Let the police check it out." So he found a street phone booth and called 110. He saw the police car arrive and soon left. He had only stolen a small amount of money, which wasn't enough for the fare to get home. So, in the early hours of July the 7th, he went back to room 602 and took a laptop, digital camera, travel bag, some clothes, and foreign currency. Packed them all into a suitcase and fled the scene. That same day, he took a train to Huzhou, where he sold Diana's MacBook to a fellow villager for 1,000 RMB before fleeing back to his hometown. Police quickly found a folding knife in his home, as well as the stolen digital camera, travel bag, cell phone, clothes, foreign currency, and a ring. They also recovered the MacBook from Chen Jun's fellow villager, with a total value of about $1,600. At this point, it took the police 4 days to catch the killer. On November 17, 2008, Chen Jun was convicted of robbery and sentenced to death. Canadian media reported that he received a death sentence with a reprieve. That was thanks to the judge's consultation with Deborah O'Brien, Diana's mother, who empathized with how Chen's dislocation from his hometown and struggle to find employment gave rise to his desperate circumstances. She said, "I felt that he was a pawn, in that as much as he was an evil person." Chen Jun came from a poor rural background and did not receive much love from his parents or a good education. He started working in a factory as a teenager, and in a big city like Shanghai, he was just a migrant worker. He worked as a waiter, earning a low fixed salary with no tips or benefits such as insurance. He was unskilled, cheap, and easily replaceable. While his situation was unfortunate, it doesn't justify robbing or taking someone's life. The above information comes mainly from Chinese sources. Some Canadian media reports indicate that Diana was first discovered in the stairwell by her roommate Charlotte. Chen Jun allegedly followed Diana into the building from outside and attacked her instead of entering through an open door. Diana, who had been modeling for 3 years, didn't plan to go to China because she was worried about losing her boyfriend, but she got a successful modeling gig in Milan, where she hoped to return soon. Her Canadian modeling agency told her that a stint in Shanghai would improve her chances of landing another Italian contract. However, Diana arrived to find that JH Model Agency, the local Chinese firm that had hired her, had booked her for gigs selling Ballantine's whiskey in upscale clubs or dancing at bars to attract customers and work for corporate parties. Not the magazine shoots or runway work she had hoped for. Behind this seemingly beautiful and glamorous job, there are many dark and unprotected aspects. In addition, Diana entered China on a tourist visa to work, which poses risks for models working in this way. After Diana's murder, the Shanghai JH Model Agency immediately went out of business and disappeared. Canadian media reported that on the second day after Diana's murder, no one answered the phone at JH Model Agency, and when reporters went to the address listed on the JH website, a man at the door claimed he had never heard of the company. Soon after, the website disappeared from the internet. At the time, Diana had already decided to end her 3-month modeling contract early and had booked a flight to return to Canada on July 24th or 25. However, tragedy struck. In her last Facebook post, she wrote, quote, "Diana is missing her other half," unquote. What do you think about this case? Please share your opinion in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please like it and subscribe to my channel.